everyone. So I purchased this jar at a thrift store. It was $2. It's a vintage jar, and as you can see, it had pictures on it at one time. It looks like there was a pig and an elephant. So I'm not for sure if it was a baby jar or what it really was. It says AGC on the bottom. I believe that's what that says. I really liked it, and I liked the pink lid. So I'm going to see if I can save this jar. I'm gonna let it set overnight to see if I can get the rest of this paint off, and then I'm going to give it a new look. So I will be back after I let this soak. So I let the jar soak all night, and not all of the paint came off. So I'm going to use my little plastic scraper, and it should just come right off with that. So I'm going to work on that for a little bit, and then I will be back and let you know what I'm going to do to the jar. Okay, so I got all the paint cleaned off, and what I have done is I have put 3 strips of 1-inch painter's tape on the top of my jar. You know, kind of like you were doing a grain sack stripe or something like that with the painter's tape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the middle strip of painter's tape off, and I want to paint I guess it would be like stripe or ring around this area of my jar. So I want to make sure my tape is down really well, and I'm going to go ahead and use a chalk style paint, the Waverly plaster color. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I will be back. Okay, so I have 2 coats of the chalk style paint on there, and they have dried. I'm going to put another coat on there, and what I'm going to try is there is a border a paint inlay border that is in the Spring Melody IOD spring release, and I am going to try to put this on here around where I have painted. I'm going to go ahead and leave the painter's tape on because I'm hoping that will work, and then by leaving the painter's tape on, I can put a top coat over, and the top coat will only be in the area that I've painted. So that's what I'm hoping for, so let's see what happens. Okay, so the paint inlay has dried. I'm going to spritz it with water, and we are gonna see what happens. Here we go. Okay, now I'm just gonna take my paper towel and dab off some of the excess water. I want to let that set for just a few seconds here before I see if this is going to work. Okay, we're going to let that set for a second. And I'm going to try to find my end where I pieced that together. Right here. So I'm going to start right there, and I'm hoping this works because I think it'll be really cool if it works. It doesn't look like it's down in there very well. I'm going to press that down. I'm going to spritz it just a little bit more and press that down in there because I really want this to work. Okay, that is not perfect by any means, but let's see how the rest is going to do. That's not bad. It'll definitely give it a vintage look. That took up some of the paint. That's interesting. So yeah, some places took better than others, and it is taking off a little bit of the white chalk paint. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry, and then I'm going to give it a top coat, and then I'm gonna take the painter's tape off and see what it looks like. So I'll be back. Okay, so I have put 2 coats of the Dixie Belle clear coat on in the flat finish, and it's almost dry. The second coat is almost dry, but before it dries completely, I want to go ahead and start taking off the painter's tape just so the painter's tape doesn't get stuck to the jar. I don't think it will, but I'm just going to go ahead and start taking it off before it completely dries, just to see what this is going to look like. Okay, so there is the top tape. It's kind of cool, kind of a vintage look for sure. Okay, so there, one side did really well with the paint inlay. The other side, I'm not for sure. I probably, after I thought about this, I probably should have put some kind of primer on. Go ahead and tape it off and then put primer on, and then do the chalk paint. Maybe that would have helped the chalk paint adhere just a little bit better to the jar in some of the places, but you know, I don't think, it's just that one spot that's really a little bit rough right there. But I really like this side. I think it looks good. So I'm thinking about doing another one along the bottom here. So I'm going to decide on that, and then I will come back and let you know what I decided. Okay, I am back, and I'm going to show you what I did with the jar. And then I took it all off. I thought it looked really bad. I thought I had a good idea, and it was a good idea. I probably just needed bonding primer, and I needed to do something else. But I will go ahead and show you that, and then I will be back and show you the new thing that I'm going to do to the jar. Okay, so I am back. What did you think of that process, of that paint inlay on the jar? I think it's a good idea. If somebody can come up with a different technique maybe than what I used, I think it might be a really cool idea. But I might work on it again, but I just couldn't get it to work today. So I'm going back with the transfers. So I wanted to make this jar look cute, and I really like the pink lid, and so I like this transfer. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna go ahead and put this transfer on the jar, and then that will be my DIY project. Okay, so I'm going to put the transfer on. So even though my plan didn't work out, I think the jar still turned out really cute. I think the color matches good with the lid, and I still think I saved the jar. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.